what I want to ask you as well, because I know that was a question I wanted to ask you, is what were the emotions that you felt at that time when you were transitioning from a singer to, like, if I can bring you back to that
Mm.
moment, like you, what were those emotions that you were feeling of like confliction? Because I'm sure that people can relate to that because it's a
Mm.
very human response
Yeah.
to like, I don't know if I want to do, like, how
Yeah.
did you feel?
It was really, really hard because as I was singing I was singing since I was like 4 or 5 years old. So when I decided to when I understood that that's not what I want to do, I was 20. So it
Yeah.
was like 16 years of daily affirmations from my mom. Oh, like you're going to become a singer, and I actually enjoyed doing that. Like it's not like I didn't enjoy it. I generally enjoyed it, and I told to my friends, to my family, oh, like I'm going to become a singer. I'm doing this and that, and then when you realize that it's not something that you generally enjoy doing, um, I mean, it just changed over the time because there was a time where when I was enjoying it, and when it changed, it was like, I guess it comes back to that killing yourself. I had to kill the old self to become a new self.
Mm.
So it was a pressure from family, from friends, of
Yeah.
course, because they were like, so well, you're not singing anymore. Like, what do you mean you're not singing anymore? It's like I'm just not enjoying this. So what are you gonna do? Like it's like damn, like it was a it was really hard because of people's opinions first off, and then
Mm.
secondly was it was part of my identity. I wanted to become a singer.
Yeah.
Now I don't want to become. It's like, so what I'm gonna do? Like, I feel like that's it. It's over. Like, I'm just going to work in a job and just be miserable. But then again, like, it was just the start of, as you said, like, when you're in that position where you feel like you're not moving forward, you're actually moving. It's just that little uncomfortable start where you realize that you can make choices, and yeah, just
Yeah, like change isn't a comfortable feeling. Like
mm,
it's not like um it's stressful. Like if I think about examples of change, like any change is difficult.
mm,
Like good or bad, it's a process. It's you
yeah,
have to process it. Um, I just wish it was looked at differently in a way that's like change is only something like if it's inherent, if it's a good thing and you're
mm-hmm,
doing it for the better of yourself. Like for example, your parents being like, instead of saying why are you doing that, being like that's really cool.
yeah,
Like do you know what it's like? Flipping it on its head
mm,
and saying, well, that's a great opportunity for you to
find yourself.
find yourself. You know, um, and
I wish that would be the case though.
we yeah, and it goes back to like, and I wish it too because we're constantly trying to look past, like it's looking at it where it's the least resistance thing, where it's some people stay in things because it's comfortable, because they don't want to change. It's just that first initial
Yeah,
bit, that starting point where it's like, and it's funny that we always come back to the idea of talk about change. It's because it's so inherently true, and maybe that's kind of that pivotal point where it's anything that's difficult is worth going through.
yeah,
That's worth going through comes from uncomfortable change or
yeah,
change in general. Um, and I think yeah, it's looking at it through a different lens, and like I say, looking at yourself, being like, I'm going to be nice to you no matter what the change. Like
yeah,
let's say you, I don't know, from your transition from singing to martial arts, it's like even if the martial arts thing didn't work out and you went back to singing, you would still hold yourself in a way where it's like, well, I'm still proud of doing
I tried it. Yeah,
it. You know, like
at least I tried it. Sorry.
exactly. And I always ask myself that question of like, what if my businesses don't work? Or
Yeah,
I always say, well, it's never a loss. It's a learn, you know,
yeah,
and it's not about that. It's more that I'm just doing, I'm just going to keep, and that's why it almost benefits you in the way because it's like it's never about it's the destination. It's like, well, this is just something I have to do and lean into, and you don't need to explain it. I don't think
Yeah.
anyone needs to explain it. It's more just, yeah, like if you have any example of your life, like for example, if you look at it like a breakup, like, you know, and relationships, like even in my last relationship, I knew that it wasn't for me, and I knew that it was uncomfortable to have that change, but I knew that
Mm.
that was a purposeful thing for me to do, because I knew that I had to communicate that and stay true to who I was, and not look at myself through the lens of like negative, but say, well, this is something that's positive. And as hard as it is,
Yeah.
as horrible as it is, still trying to find that trust and light for yourself.
Yeah. So